395. I was logging, and I was just running a saw, trimming. I was cutting down. We were doing hardwood logging. I was trimming, going behind the guy that was cutting down the big trees and topping them and all, running a saw. And it was old Knuckle Boom loader, and they were loading pulpwood, hardwood pulpwood. If you don't know nothing about logging, hardwood is a lot worse than doing pine. Well, I'm at the front of the loader, way away from any danger. Well, the loader man, he's loading pulpwood, hardwood pulpwood on a log trailer. He gets up, and I got my back to all this, because I'm at the front of the loader, way away from anything. He takes, and one of the trees that was in the pile, the top of it got hung in the pile that he had in the grapple that was going to put on the trailer. And what you do when it does that, you just kind of shake it, and most of the time it just comes out and falls back down in the pile. Well, this particular time, and I was cutting a redwood log, and like where it falls out there, you can't trim that knot because it's in the dirt. You gotta wait till it gets up to the loader where they can turn it, where you can get it. This particular time, when he did that to shake it to get it loose, it was like under a lot of tension, and when it sprung out, I'm over there cutting, running the saw, a 394 Husky, and that tree come down on my shoulder, and I had a hard hat on, a metal hard hat on, with chaps and everything else. For all these safety people that think that a hard hat is something special, that hard hat hauled too. It knocked me down on the tree, on that. The saw just knocked out of hand, knocked me down, and my skull hit that knot that I hadn't trimmed yet. I didn't know it knocked me out. But anyway, next thing I remember, they got me strapped down. I mean, and these ambulance people, they ain't real good in the woods. They might can pull you out of a ditch. But you get them out there in a bunch of tops and limbs, and them jokers strapped me down, had that thing around my neck. My whole head was busted all up. And my head wasn't hurt. Probably ain't nothing in there, but my shoulder was killing me. I mean, my shoulder was killing me. And I was freezing to death. It was January. I was so cold. And they got me on that backboard, got me all jacked up, and they had me strapped down like that table, where they stretched me apart, that mechanical animal table. And they had me jacked down tight. They picked me up trying to tow me to the ambulance. I remember it was a diesel ambulance. You could hear that thing running, because they didn't cut off all the equipment, because they thought I was dead. Well, they started towing me, and they let it drop me. I mean, in all these tops, there's old limbs everywhere, on this yard out there. And they let it drop me. Can you imagine how you get your head busted and you get turned over and dumped? You finna get dumped down into a bunch of limbs. You're gonna get your eyes poked out. You already got your head busted. Well, anyway, the crew seen what kind of trouble they were having trying to walk, so they all come help. And then they all helped, and I wound up, man, I was like on the conveyor belt headed that ambulance. I mean, man, I was like Casper the Ghost flying across them tops. Because they all thought I was going to die, And the loader man was really worried because he's the one did it. And he thought that he really felt bad about it. They got me in that ambulance and shoved my butt in there. I was bleeding like a hog. Anyway, I mean a mess. That stuff's all in it's a mess. They shoved me in that van, and it was kind of wet out there. We was in a field, I mean, we went to take off, and that van, you heard that diesel motor rev up. It didn't sound like it had a whole lot of power. But when that thing revved up, I felt the back of that van the ambulance just sank down. It just bottomed out. It just sunk down. By that time, I seen my crew. I seen that, their hard hats and stuff come up and I felt the whole back of the van come up. They just pushed that joker up out of that hole. There we went. I went to Fairview Hospital. I'm freezing to death. I'm begging them for just give me some hot water, something to warm me up. I mean, I'm freezing. No, they didn't. They couldn't give me nothing, they said. And then they got me to the hospital. And then that woman, I mean, them people they were trying to they were picking over me like a bunch of bugs. They were on every end, sawing and cutting, and they were cutting my junk off, my clothes. But they couldn't do nothing with them chaps. Them they were all wound up. I told them, I said, listen, all you got to do is you just undo the little snaps, the little plastic things, to cover them, Well, they finally did, because they didn't have nothing to cut them chaps. They cut me down and stripped me down naked. And I'm freezing down. And then they had me on a metal table, like a dead person. It was on a metal table. I was freezing to death. Then, they got me in the room. I will never forget that old lady. Bless her heart, I love old people, but that was a mean woman. She should have never done that. She gonna give me a catheter. I ain't never heard of one. I didn't have to pee. My head was busted. I didn't have to pee. But she told me, I'm in that pipe she had up. She said, we're going to put this in you where you ain't going to be able to go to the bathroom. I told her I didn't have to go to the bathroom. Then I got looking at that pipe. I was like, well, where you going to put it? I thought she going to, I got to be careful what I say. I thought she gonna live up my junk, and just shove it up in there, and ram it in there. Then she told me that'd been bad, but then she told me that it had to go in there. And I'm telling you, when I get cold, scared, or in pain, or embarrassed, I have a lot of shrinkage. I mean, my junk be gone. That would look like a turtle that you done scared it. But I tell you what, that crap, I told that woman I ain't got to go to the bathroom. But I tell you one thing, that woman managed to shove that daggone hose up my stuff. And, I mean, this just went bad. Then they found out my skull was busted. And they x-rayed me. But then she done plugged me up. I mean, I didn't have to pee. I didn't need to pee. That was just stupid. Plugged me up. And they found out my head was busted, my skull was busted. They couldn't do nothing else with me. But I was freezing that they done cut all my clothes off. And them hospital clothes, them hospital blankets, they like plastic, man. They ain't worth a darn. Then they had to ship me to Macon. I went from Fairview, I call it Last View, to Macon. I got to Macon. That ambulance she got, that was a girl driving that ambulance, and buddy, it was a gas ambulance. Might have been a 4 seat. I don't know what kind it was, but it was a gas motor. I mean, we went up that interstate to Macon. We were riding, buddy. But I tell you what, and if you ever get a catheter, I don't know about how it works on other men, but I'm telling you, I laid in the hospital like 6 days with my head busted. And main thing was hurting was my shoulder. But anyway, man, when they took that thing out, good gracious alive. And then they told me if I didn't, be able to use the bathroom, they had to give me another one to, to stimulate me. Man, I tell you what, I like to pull up all the plumbing in that bathroom. First time I went in there to use the bathroom to take a leak, golly, man, I tell you what, I had to look, make sure it wasn't fire going out of that thing. I'm telling you what, all I know, if you ever get somewhere, you better tell them people, you better make sure, tell them to give you a bedpan. I could have paid somebody to come get my junk out there instead of that thing, that catheter hose thing. I mean, I wouldn't have drawn nothing. But It's kind of like that defibrillator store. You really ain't got much choice, you know. But I've had a rough time. Now I'm telling you, that was and I had so many people come and tell me that you know I should be dead. Them doctors told me there were people down there in the morgue look better than me. They wasn't tore up bad as I was. But I didn't know nothing about all that. All I knew is, you know, I wanted them to leave me alone. But anyway, everybody thought that story was funny. But oh, another thing that woman did is stuck her finger up my butt. Now why would you I need it, you know, what in the world would somebody want to do that for? I think they did it only for the fun of it. What could, you get somebody coming there with a head busted open, what are you going to find sticking up? You might find something sticking your finger up the butt that you don't want. I mean, I just don't see, I don't understand that. But anyway, I stay away from the, you know, the doctor people stuff, because I don't do too good around doctors. But anyway, I'm just telling the story because everybody they want me to tell the story. And I hope, I don't know. I just hope, I just hope I don't have to go through them with many more hospitals and stuff. I hope I go out, you know, just something just like that, you know. But I mean, we don't get to, you know, I probably blow my head off. It probably wouldn't. I'd live anyway because the way my head is, there ain't nothing up there anyway. But y'all will like, share, and subscribe. This is WR checking out Unplugged, and I appreciate y'all. I'm doing it for at least one person. I don't know the rest of the people could be happy or not, but appreciate y'all, and y'all have a blessed one, and WR checking out. The next time y'all figure it out, may the Lord bless.